Coming up on today's Airborne, Boeing delivers its 8,000th 737. S-TEC and Chelton Flight Systems are acquired in a management buyout. And a Canadian flight instructor is fired over his MH370 appearances. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. As we are wrapping up today's episode of Airborne, our newsroom got a late-breaking story. Jim Campbell is here with the details.
Thanks, Ashley, and hi, folks. Well, a story has been building up over the holiday weekend, and it kind of surprised us. It involves the most recent former commander of the United States Navy Blue Angels, Greg McWherter. Now, I can tell you, in covering military and air show events over the last 40-some-odd years, you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody more respected and more universally commended as one of the best in the business than Greg McWherter. So imagine our surprise when the Navy pops up with a very limited release with very limited information indicating that his current position as XO of the Naval Base Coronado in San Diego, well, turns out he's been relieved of his duties by the commander of the Naval Installations Command. Basically, the data as it stands is this. Vice Admiral William French, commander of Navy Installations Command, relieved Captain Gregory McWherter. This is a decision based on the initial findings of an ongoing investigation into recent allegations of misconduct and an inappropriate command climate at the U.S. Navy Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels, based at Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida. The allegations refer specifically to the period when McWherter served as Blue Angels commanding officer from November 2008 to November 2010. And remember, he had to step back in after the then commander of the Blue Angels resigned after an air show incident in, I believe, Lynchburg, Virginia. So he stepped back in from May 2011 to November 2012. Afterwards, McWherter assumed his duties as Naval Base Coronado XO in November 2013 and has since been reassigned to Naval Air Forces in San Diego. Folks, everybody in the naval and air show community is kind of scratching their head. Whatever complaint occurred at least a year and a half after he left the Blues. Even the investigating admiral on this has not been named, and all questions that we put to the Section Nav's office have been, well, not returned. As I said, McWherter is universally respected. There's actually already a Facebook page in support of him with some 3,000 likes. And I've got a feeling this is going to be one of those stories that once the facts finally become known, it's probably going to be even stranger than it feels right now. We'll keep you updated. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne, and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell.
When first introduced in the mid-1960s, the original stubby version of the Boeing 737 was often lovingly referred to as the Baby Boeing and Fat Albert. Today it would be more appropriate to refer to it as the Golden Goose, as Boeing has just delivered its 8,000th 737 to come off the production line to United Airlines. The 737 is the first commercial airplane in its history to reach this delivery milestone. The program has a strong backlog with more than 3,700 airplanes on order, including 1,934 orders for the new 737 MAX. Beverly Wise, Vice President and General Manager of the 737 program, said, quote, "The 737 program continues to innovate with new features and technology, meeting the needs of our customers now and into the future." End quote. You're watching Airborne. We'll be back after these messages with more news and our feature of the day.
Since its inception, Redbird Flight Simulations has been dedicated to developing new training technologies and processes in an ongoing effort to make aviation safer, more affordable, and more accessible. Consider Redbird's flagship flight training device, the FMX, a superior quality, full-motion, feature-rich advanced aviation training device priced with real-world flight training organizations in mind. With standard features that are anything but standard, such as wraparound visuals, a fully enclosed cockpit, quick change configurations, scenario-based training compatibility, and of course, an electric motion platform, the FMX serves up a level of realism that is simply unavailable in other training devices on the market. For more information on Redbird flight simulations, the Redbird FMX, and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to support Airborne, Aero-TV, our website, or podcast, drop an email to jim@aero-news.net. Maybe a plaid shirt and jeans is not the right fashion statement. A Canadian flight instructor has been terminated by a simulator business because of his appearances on CNN as an expert for the coverage of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. But it wasn't Mitchell Casado's content that got him canned. It was how he dressed for his appearances, and it also made him late for work. This according to UFly owner Claudio Teixeira. The Associated Press reports that Teixeira said he let Casado go because he dressed like a teenager when he appeared on CNN, which, quote, shamed Canadians and made his countrymen look bad all over the world. He wore a plaid shirt and jeans when he appeared on the cable network with a reporter in a Boeing 777 simulator at UFly's headquarters in Toronto. Casado wouldn't comment, but said in a tweet that, quote, my boss had me training a new guy the last few days, and now that he can do my job, and CNN left, he fired me, end quote. Each week, we share with you a sample of an online video one of our viewers found especially entertaining. We call it our Aero Video of the Week.
Final liftoff.
So pretend to have your attention for just a few moments. My ex-husband, my new boyfriend, and their divorced attorney are going to show you the safety features of the Boeing 737-800 series. It's been a long day for me.
Every now and again, you can have fun on an airliner. That is, if you have a flight attendant like this one. Search hilarious SWA flight attendant midlife crisis on YouTube.
Check it out. You'll notice in the highly unlikely event that the captain lands a snare hot tub, everybody gets their very own teeny-weeny yellow Southwest bikini.
Genesys Aerosystems Group has acquired Chelton Flight Systems Incorporated and S-TEC Corporation, previously doing business as Cobham Avionics, from Cobham in a management buyout. Genesys Aerosystems was formed by Roger Smith, president and general manager of the two acquired companies. Chelton Flight Systems, originally founded in 1997, developed the world's first FAA-certified synthetic vision flight display system and GPS WAAS navigator. S-TEC Corporation, founded in 1978, offers a full line of autopilots from low-cost analog wing levelers to sophisticated digital 3-axis systems for airplanes and helicopters. Airborne is brought to you by some of the best sponsors in the aviation business. We'll be right back with more news.
ADS-B will be mandatory for most aircraft by 2020 in the United States, but you can benefit from ADS-B today with the Bendix King KT-74 Mode S transponder. The KT-74 meets the global mandates for ADS-B out when attached to a suitable WAAS GPS. Over the past 2 decades, no resource has compiled as much expert-valued information about the sport plane world than the Sport Plane Resource Guide. Over 1,500 pages, hundreds of aircraft, dozens of how-tos and directories. All this and more will be coming to the sport aviation world soon with the new, all-electronic and updatable Sport Plane Resource Guide for your iPad, iPhone, Kindle, tablet, PC, or other electronic devices. Get your order in now. www.sportplane.com.
Welcome back. The joint project between Avidyne and Trego-Dugan is making it easier on the consumer, even if it sounds a little bit complicated. Avidyne is working with Trego-Dugan Aviation of Grand Island, Nebraska, and Free Flight Systems of Waco, Texas, to develop an approved model list supplemental type certificate of the Avidyne AXP340 Mode S transponder, coupled with the Free Flight 1201 WAAS GPS sensor. Trego-Dugan will seek FAA and EASA approval of the AML STC, which will streamline the installation process for ADS-B equipage in the United States and in Europe. Avidyne's AXP340 is a 1090 MHz extended Switter Mode S transponder that's designed to meet the U.S. and international mandates for ADS-B out. This AML STC provides approval for use of the Free Flight 1201 as the precision GPS position source for the AXP340. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan sent unmanned military aerial vehicle production to record heights. but that is now declining. While fewer UAVs are expected to roll off the production lines from 2014 to 2013, market intelligence provider Forecast International believes that manufacturers can still expect their coffers to grow. Forecast International expects production of about 1,000 military UAVs of all types in 2014, with outputs rising to nearly 1,100 units in each of the following 2 years. Thereafter, production is forecast to average about 960 UAVs annually for the remaining 7 years of the 2014 to 2023 forecast period. While military UAV production is expected to remain relatively stable over the next 10 years, the value of production will steadily climb from about $942 million in 2014 to $2.3 billion in 2023. This forecast did not account for growth in the commercial use of UAVs. Well, that's our program. Remember to get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a new edition of Airborne. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.